Hey guys, it's Kimberly. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing an in-depth review of the unicorn brushes that were all the rage around Christmas time. My wife got me mine as an early Valentine's Day gift, and I thought I would do a little review. I didn't use them on camera, but I did use them a couple of times like off camera, and I'm just going to show you what they look like up close. I'm going to tell you my thoughts about them, how well they worked, and if they're worth the money or not. So first of all, it came in just a regular brown box, and then inside that box was this beauty. This is like so cool and like edgy and just unique and everything gorgeous. And then on the front here it says, "You've got unicorn mail." I'm going to do a little awkward posing so you guys can get the full effect that I got when I opened it up. Are you ready for this? Tell me that's not magical. Like, I opened up this box and saw this cute little punk rock unicorn chick holding her little cute little glamorous unicorn pet, and I was like, oh my god, I'm in love. I haven't even seen the brushes and I am in love. Just like, I'm not throwing this box away. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but it's probably just gonna sit on the floor because I am not getting rid of it. Now this gorgeous little card, well, big card, is definitely going to be on my bulletin board, but it's also kind of useful because on the back it's got a little message. It's got a list of all the brushes, what they do, unicorn tips for how to use them, and a little tip about washing them and all that good stuff. So then underneath that card is the actual bag, like case that holds them, and it's a very cool holographic diamond. Just let's get a close-up of that. So we've got these cool little triangle shapes making up the diamond, and it is just so gorgeous and holographic and just amazing. And then the little tags, I tried to get a close-up clip, but they're mirrored, so it's just kind of hard for my camera to focus on them. But they're the unicorn head logo for this brand. It's just so gorgeous already, but before I open that up and show you the actual brushes, I just want to talk a tiny bit more about the packaging, because it came with this really beautiful colored straw. Purple is my favorite, but on top of that straw were sprinkled these little bead things, and this is just like a tiny little extra thing that they did, which just kind of puts it over the top. Like, no other brand does this that I've seen anyway. But there's just these little beads. There's like some blue ones and some green ones. There's some pinkish purpley ones. There's different sizes, like, and they were just all sprinkled along the top of this straw just to help give that extra effect. Like, they just took that extra step, and just the fact that they did that, like, just the packaging of this, they obviously really care. I mean, this head is not the only thing. Underneath all this straw, that painting continues on. Like, that little drawing of that girl in this super gorgeous dress just continues on underneath this straw, that you probably wouldn't even see that unless you're like me and just think packaging is super cute. So, I mean, the fact that they're willing to do that little bit of extra work and take it that extra mile just to make it more pleasant to open it, and just, I don't know, I think it's gorgeous. Just the packaging. So we're gonna go ahead and go into this. I've got some close-up clips that I'll be inserting while I talk about them, but I'm not gonna follow the list. The list has them in the same order that they are in the case, but I'm gonna go in the order that I would use these brushes on my face. So after you unzip it, my only problem with the case is that this little zippered part isn't sturdy enough to hold itself up, and so it ends up smashed down, which means that there's no space for the brushes and they get smashed down. But yeah, so they come like this. They each have their own little elastic band to hold them in place. Super gorgeous. So we're gonna start, and these all have their own names So we're going to go with those names and then I'll tell you what they are. So this is the Buff Up brush, and it's the flat top foundation brush, perfect for liquids or creams, and it is ideal for blending while avoiding a foundation line. Now it's just a very basic flat top rounded foundation brush, so I figured it would work just like other flat top foundation brushes, but this is actually a lot softer than most, and so it didn't leave it streaky at all. The only thing is you do need to use this with a thicker foundation. It does not work with watery foundations, it doesn't work with liquidy foundations, it doesn't work with like tinted moisturizers. It needs to be something that's more creamy and thicker. And so for the detailing on this brush, just like with all the brushes, it's got that rainbow colored bristles, which on the end result in a spotted look. They're super pretty and beautiful. Then a little ferrule, if I'm pronouncing that right. They have the little unicorn head logo, and the stems, they're kind of iridescent looking, so they kind of have that purplish, bluish, like hollow effect, but overall they just look kind of like off-white, and they come to this super sharp point that you can use as a weapon. So like if you are just walking around doing your makeup and someone attacks you, just stab their eye out or something. And yeah, so this brush worked great and I love it. So next I'm going to go in with the Spot It. It's a concealer buffer brush. It is used, you can use it around the nose for color correcting or under the eyes for concealer, or if you just have a spot that you want to cover. Now it's a rounded concealer brush, so I don't find it very helpful for under the eyes, but around the nose, covering those little areas or any spots that you want to cover up, it worked great for that. And again, really, really soft, super cute overall. Now this is one of my favorites because I just love huge fluffy powder brushes, and this is the Wisp Me Away, and it's just a large, fluffy, super soft, like a freaking cloud, like not even my cat is this soft kind of powder brush, and it just like does whatever you want on. The only problem is if you're using a loose powder, it does pick up a lot. Like it picks up a lot of product, so you gotta really tap it off, and then it just like goes on so smooth and so perfect, and it's just so soft. Now it does look a little dingy because even though I was using a translucent powder, I was using my Airspun like I normally do, it just didn't want to clean very well. Like some of these brushes didn't want to clean very well, and so the bristles are no longer as beautiful as they once were. Now this is the, what is this one? This is not the Barefaced blush. This is the Chisel Cheeks, and it's just a flat top contour brush. This one actually cleaned very well, which is shocking because you know contour is very dark, but it washed out very well, really soft. It blended that contour out so well. Normally I can't use these kind of contour brushes because it just won't blend, but this just worked great. Like I loved it. So next is the Barefaced blush, and it's just a regular, it's not large, not small, it's just a regular sized angled blush brush. Again, really, really soft. It washed out relatively well, so the colors are still very vibrant on this one, but just along the top it just is a little bit dingy looking. And I've only used it a couple times and I washed it after every use, so that's kind of frustrating. But again, some of these colors are still very vibrant. So this dusted on the color and it blended it out very well, but it did pick up a lot of product and then put down a lot of product. So you do need to be careful with this specific brush. But I feel like I have to be careful with every blush brush that I use, just because I always end up with too much. So this is the Strobe Alert, and it's just your basic fan brush, but it's super thin, which I like a lot better because then I can really get just a nice, and just like spots, like you know, where I want it, and it doesn't go everywhere. The only thing I don't like about this brush is that at the ends, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this or not, but the ends, the bristles on the ends just kind of feather out, and like they look kind of frizzy, and they're not stuck with the rest of the bristles. And so those are a little annoying, and they can leave stray highlighter around my face. I tried to reshape them when I washed it, but I just can't, so I think I'm just going to cut those few little strands off so that I don't have to worry about them anymore. This one obviously did not get stained, so the colors are super, super vibrant. This one is called Blending is My Cardio, which all of us that love makeup know that that is true. I actually don't like this brush very much. I don't want to say I don't like it at all, but I don't like it very much. It's a flat blending brush, so it's kind of like a regular eyeshadow brush, but the bristles are longer, which is kind of weird in my opinion. Like for blending, it really should be rounded. They should maybe have a little bit of a domed effect on the top just so you can really blend it out and feather out the color. But this works okay if you're like trying to bring some color into your inner V. It's a little easy to kind of blend it in, or if you're doing like a halo, it's a little easy to blend some like outer corner colors into your center, but definitely not, like, it's not very well blending underneath the lash line. It's not great for the creasing, but it is good for like a little bit of brow highlight, so there's that. And this one just got left a little bit dingy looking. Then there is Creaseproof, which is your standard crease blending brush. This is what I would expect from a normal blending brush. It's got kind of longer bristles, it's rounded, it's kind of fluffy, got the tiniest bit of dome along the top, and it just feathers in color. I do wish it was a little bit more like domed, so there was a few little different shapes, or I mean a few different lengths of bristles, just so that it could really like distribute the color. But it does work really good. It blended out my crease color amazingly. It is a little too long to get right into the crease. It does kind of like spread out, but that's normally not a problem for me because I do the crease first. And again, it got left a little dingy. So then this is their, what's it called? On Cloud Glitter. And it's just a basic eyeshadow brush. It's a little bit fluffier than most eyeshadow brushes, but I think that's because it's made to pack on glitter, so it works really, like it really just packs the color on and smooths it out, and it's just there. Like, just, I don't know what else to say. It's an eyeshadow brush. And this one was also left dingy looking. This is Fleeky Brows, and it's just a basic, very thin, angled liner brow brush. You can use it for your winged liner if you're using like a smudge pop, or it works great for the brows. I don't like these kind of brushes for liner. They're just too thick, like they're too wide and just not thin enough for me. But this was so perfect for my brows. Like, I've never done more perfect brows than I did with this brush. And it just like leaves such a perfect thin line wherever you draw them, and it's just, I love it. It's pure magic. But it doesn't get clean, like, and that just might be because I use, you know, the dip brow, but it stained very bad, and then it turned like this weird greenish color when I washed it, so that was a little gross. But the actual brush works great. Now I know some people were complaining that because of the pointed effect that the handles were too bendy and they were too thin and they were just gonna snap all the time. Obviously with the thicker ones are not bendy, like this doesn't bend at all, they're not thin enough to be bendy. But with these thinner ones, they are, and they do bend, and they bend quite a bit depending on which brush it is, because some of them are thicker and some of them are thinner. So some of them do bend quite a bit, but they're just bendy. They're not like, they don't feel like they're going to snap at all, they just feel a little stretchy, a little bendy. But that's not a worry for me anyway, because I don't go bending my brushes. Other than for this video, I don't do this to my brushes. Like, when you're holding them, they're sturdy, they hold their shape, they're not moving around on their own, they're not going to get snapped while they're just sitting in a case or just laying on a vanity or anything like that. So the thinness of the thing really doesn't bother me. It's not something that's actually going to happen. So overall, these brushes work great. Other than, like I said, that blending is my cardio. I don't really like that brush, but the rest of them work great, and some of them have their own little things that they don't work for, but I really like them. I think they were worth the money my wife spent on them, but I think realistically they're probably not worth it. They do work great and they're amazing brushes, but I feel like the price is more for the packaging and the way they look. Like, you're paying for the rainbow bristles and the unicorn stem. You're paying for this super beautiful card and the super amazing box that it comes in, and you're paying for the holographic package, but that stuff doesn't really last. Like, in reality, most people throw the box away. Most people would probably throw the little insert away. I'm gonna hang this up. The colors on the bristles, they get covered up with makeup. They fade, they look dingy, and you know, it's just, they're not gonna stay beautiful. So if you're paying for the beauty, then it's not worth your money, because they won't stay that way. But they are super quality brushes, so if you're just looking for some super great brushes that are also kind of cute, then they're worth the money. But again, if you're just paying for the beauty, if you want to be able to put them on display but also use them, it's not worth it. I don't know why you would pay this much money to put something on just display, so I would assume that you also want to use it. But if you use it, they're not going to be put on display just because they're going to look dingy and dirty and just kind of gross, even after you clean them a lot. So whether it's worth the money to you is going to depend on whether you want to be able to display them and use them as something decorative or just as something functional. I think that they're worth the money because these are the softest, most effective brushes that I've ever tried, and I don't have any other brushes as soft or as effective as these. So just that alone makes them worth it. Plus the added bonus of this is a carry bag. Like, I can take this with me, and I've got all my brushes with me, and I can take this, and if I didn't know anything, it tells me how to use the brushes. So for me personally, I never planned on setting them up on display and hoping everybody would see them or something. So I think they're worth the money, but it just really depends. Some people want their brushes to stay pretty, and that's not going to happen with these. And that's it. That's my thoughts on this. So let me know what you think in the comments down below, if you've tried them, if you're going to try them now, or what. Give it a like too. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at shewhospeaks _ instead of spaces. I'm also on Snapchat at Kimberly.Nicole with a K, not a C. Go ahead and click on my face to become an adventurer, join our little family, and if you'd like to watch another one of my videos right now, there will be 2 on the screen for you to choose from. Thanks for watching. Bye.